video. Nothing gets you closer to the game. Now available on home video, it's the greatest NBA Finals moments. The most spectacular moments from the NBA's most memorable final series. The Ultimate Championship Compilation, a perfect collector's item. Now available on home video. The greatest NBA Finals moments, available wherever videos are sold.
My first year, we get to the conference semifinals, and really, I felt like we could have won it all. You think, as a young guy, you think you're going to do this every year, and it just doesn't happen that way.
Man in the middle, 7-1 center, number 50, the Admiral, David Robinson.
I watched us lose time and time again in the playoffs, and not really show a lot of character at all, and that was frustrating.
Spurs are left to ponder a first-round knockoff at the hands of the Jazz.
But it really taught me how to reach down and get a little something else out of myself. And it taught me to be a little bit tougher.
The San Antonio Spurs select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest.
I felt like you needed to bring in another superstar, somebody who could kind of take off a lot of that load. And when Tim came, it was just a breath of fresh air, and it revitalized us. From the beginning, I told the guys and I told everybody, I said, I like this team, and we are going to come together.
The Spurs team is running on all cylinders, folks. This is as good an exhibition of basketball as I've seen in a long time.
It's been a great journey. I mean, every one of our guys has overcome challenges, and that's part of the character of this team.
The Spurs, maybe the best team in the NBA.
Now, we have 12 guys going out there to play night in and night out, and that's what makes a team.
Sometimes, the essence of a victory is found not at the finish line, but in all the little steps along the way. For the San Antonio Spurs, it was a hard road to glory. Their talent was great, but not unequaled, deep, but not boundless. Yet in 1999, they became unbeatable. As a franchise, their patience was exceeded only by their passion. They became a shining example of team-making as they rose together from a one-time remote basketball outpost to the top of the NBA world.
Even though the NBA is pretty high-tech stuff right now, Spurs are deeply embedded in the heart of the city, back to the ABA days when it was a family mom-and-pop sort of deal, and it still has that feeling about it in San Antonio.
It was 1973 when the ABA's Dallas Chaparrals moved to San Antonio. They became the city's first professional sports team.
The Dallas Chaparrals may have taken a trek, which will become more historical for San Antonio than the first cattle drive along the old Chisholm Trail.
The ABA was the Wild West of basketball, best known for its shootouts on the court. The Spurs' fastest draw was George Gervin, whose name and game would become legend.
He was George. He was the Iceman. He just had that magnetism. You either got it or you don't. Some of us stiffs don't have it, but he had it.
Here comes Gervin, the Iceman, driving and he hits it up left-handed. Oh, sensational shot by Gervin.
His trademark was the finger roll.
Because hardly could nobody block it. You know, you just roll it over their fingertips, you know, and they think they got it and it just roll over.
The Iceman would be flipping things up, finger rolls from the corner behind the basket, swish.
The Spurs were a one-track team in a track meet league.
That's what the ABA was all about. It was all about running and gunning and shooting more times than you. Our whole theory was, if you shoot 100 times, we shooting 130.
Even after the ABA merged into the NBA, Gervin and the Spurs never changed their style.
Entertaining people, that's what I played basketball for. They knew when they came to see Ice, you know, they were gonna at least do this one time. Oh, good shot.
The Spurs' crowd-pleasing ways developed some of the most loyal and passionate fans in the NBA. At the old Hemisphere Arena, everyone was part of the show, and along with the entertainment came more than a few great victories. But the Spurs always lacked the dominant big man to take them over the top, and after Gervin departed in 1985, San Antonio quickly sank to the bottom of the league. Then in 1987, a 7-foot college superstar loomed as the prize of the NBA's draft lottery.
The second pick in the 1987 NBA draft goes to the Phoenix Suns. The San Antonio Spurs will pick first in the 1987 NBA draft.
Bob, congratulations, first of all. Clearly, David Robinson is a top pick in the draft this year, but he comes with some complications, that 2-year military hitch. Will you still go after him?
We waited 14 years. What's 2 more? You know, what's 2 more?
David Robinson was one of the most athletically gifted and versatile 7-footers the NBA had ever seen. His impact was stunning.
To crash the defensive boards. Underneath and Robinson on the alley-oop. Oh, Robinson blocking Johnson and got it back again. In it goes, and this time Robinson beats the double team. Oh, my!
In his first year, Robinson led the Spurs to the greatest single-season turnaround in NBA history at that time.
Whenever you have a guy like David Robinson, the magnitude of his game and the impact that he has on the game, automatically you're going to think, hey, in the next couple of years we're going to win a championship.
Robinson became a perennial all-star and eventually the league's MVP. But all his individual achievements couldn't bring him the championship he coveted.
The Spurs are left to ponder a first-round knockoff.
The playoffs have a way of bringing out all your faults. We didn't play well together, and when adversity came, we were not able to overcome it.
Robinson is blocked, and it's all over.
It was a typical Spurs year, you know, win in the regular season, lose in the playoffs. Everything that can be said was said. People were just searching for answers.
For San Antonio, it has to be the ultimate letdown again. This is a team that has really underachieved when it's gotten to postseason.
It was always David's fault, or David didn't compete, or David was soft. In reality, all it meant was that the team wasn't good enough.
Robinson is saying, what must I do?
Well, I don't think that I've felt anything like this since I've been in sports. And it's just a crummy way to end a good year.
It would go from disappointment to disaster. In 1997, with Robinson and Sean Elliott sidelined with injuries, San Antonio won just 20 games, their worst record ever.
You wonder why are these bad things happening to you collectively as a team. At that time, our franchise was really on the borderline of going south.
Almost exactly 10 years to the day after the Spurs had won the lottery for Robinson, the team again entered the 1997 lottery with a 7-footer as the jackpot.
The first pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Congratulations.
Tim Duncan would join Robinson in the pivot. But would there be room for 2 in a space that one had filled so admirably for so long?
That's the problem. You're shooting 30. Look at that.
To the foul line.
Rookie call.
When I got a chance to work out with him one-on-one, I was amazed at his talent. Like one of the best defenders around, and I couldn't really stop him. And that was a little unsettling for me, But it was great to know he had that kind of ability.
Robinson and Duncan meshed immediately, playing together as if they were lifelong teammates. with veterans Sean Elliott and Avery Johnson acting as perfect complements, the Spurs were again on the rise.
San Antonio Spurs in every way. Wow. It's an avalanche now.
Even a 1998 playoff loss couldn't deflate them.
We knew we were on the right track, not because we had won 56 games. A lot of Spurs teams have won a lot of games, but we knew we had played hard, we knew we had played well, and we left that season really fired up to start the next year.
For 1999, the Spurs added championship-seasoned veterans Steve Kerr, Jerome Kersey, and Mario Elie. But with a shortened season, the new teammates remained strangers, and the Spurs sputtered to a 6-8 start.
Johnson, great pass to Robinson, who missed it.
The Spurs offensively are having a nightmare fourth quarter.
It was tough because everybody expected us to be so good so early.
Statement and message sent by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Those first 14 games, we played a lot of playoff teams, and we weren't ready for those teams. They were picking us apart and really teeing off on us.
Spurs are taking a little heat as a team. I think San Antonio would like to see them with a better record.
It was frustrating because we knew we had a good team, and everybody was calling for Pop's job and David to be traded.
And it is coming apart for San Antonio.
The team's faith was being tested.
We didn't blow our cool or anything like that. We didn't think the season was over. We just knew that it was going to take us. It was going to take some time.
I told the guys and I told everybody, I said, we are going to get better day by day. It was so obvious to me watching the team at the beginning. It's like, here we got guys don't even know each other. You know, we're just figuring one another out. So I knew that eventually we would gain that trust.
Faith grew outward from the center, and the ultimate proof was the way Robinson entrusted Duncan with his own career-long role as the focus of the offense.
He seemed to almost, literally handed over the reins to Tim Duncan and said, here you go, but if you get in trouble, I'm there for you.
He decided, hey, let me step back. Tim is an upcoming talent. Let me let him blossom and let me do the little things, because Dave done accomplished everything in his career. He has one goal left, and that's to win a title.
As the Spurs' centerpiece, Duncan revealed an astonishingly complete offensive game.
Oh! Over Divac goes Duncan.
Taking this game over. Another time, Duncan cannot be stopped.
With Duncan dominating offensively, Robinson would now lead the team in a different way.
David, in a sense, became more Bill Russell-like. He's a foundation of everything we do defensively, and then everything else flows from that.
Oh, David, great help defense made him miss that shot. Kersey sweeps it away. Here come the Spurs. David, all the way to the rack.
On the court, I think we started to trust each other defensively. We trust, like, if I make this rotation, somebody's going to cover for me, and if someone doesn't, then we have, Big Dave at the rim who's going to block most of them.
And the Spurs now are really clamping it down defensively.
You got to learn how to adjust your team to the talent that you have.
And it's been good because I've been able to set an example as far as accepting the role and saying, hey, if this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it the best I can. I'm going to make this team as good as I can be. And everybody has accepted that role that they've been given.
Now clicking on all cylinders, the Spurs began to steamroll their opponents.
The hustle, the dive, the pass. Save that for the highlight film.
Trying to front for the steal, goes to the floor, picks it up off a trip. Ahead to Avery for the basket, and he gets it to go.
Ario with another great play. If AJ runs it down, which he does, it's a layup. How about Ellie?
This is what you call a little fire, a little emotion.
Thundering down the stretch, the Spurs made a dramatic late-season charge.
Malik Rose.
Ellie lobs it to Elliott. Sean drives, stops, shoots, scores! There's a bang for you. Sean Elliott beats the Phoenix Suns.
Winning a remarkable 31 of their last 36 games, the Spurs grabbed the best record in the NBA and home court advantage throughout the postseason.
Johnson, Robinson, gives it up to Ellie for the win! That's a big win. That is a big win.
I think there's no doubt about it. This is the team to beat in the postseason.
just having the best record in the regular season, that doesn't mean anything. You know, it just means that you played pretty well up to that point, but you still got to prove yourself in a whole different pressure situation.
It was just a sense that, hey, man, we have the home court advantage. We have what we consider the best team in the NBA, but we got to go out here and prove it.
The Spurs' first challenge of the playoffs came from the Minnesota Timberwolves, a young team with its own 7-footer.
Kevin Garnett, the T-Wolves' young star, he's been telling everybody we're going to shock the world by beating the San Antonio Spurs.
Game 1 yielded no surprises, and San Antonio's late-season run continued.
2-on-1 Spurs. Ellie, clean break. The Duncan slam dunk.
What a great job this team has done.
But in Game 2, youth would be served. Garnett rose up on the Spurs' own court and brought San Antonio down to earth.
Garnett steps up and rejects Duncan again.
That's got Popovich steaming.
Kevin Garnett is getting his way tonight.
Unbelievable. This kid is playing out of his mind.
Guess what, folks? That's going to do it. We're going to have a 1-1 series going to Minnesota.
The Spurs' precious home court advantage had slipped away.
I think that there was a little bit of nervousness there. Like, what are we doing here? Are we doing this thing again?
I felt bad about our team's approach to Game 2, and if we want to get where we all been talking about we want to get, we can't approach no game against no team the way we play Game 2.
With the Timberwolves and their own history of postseason failures conspiring to weaken them, the Spurs looked to each other for strength.
We knew we had to go out there and not pointing fingers, not worry about things, just going out there and trying to get it done.
What they needed was the toughness to go with their talent. And inspired by playoff warrior Mario Ellie, the Spurs made sure that their toughness would never be questioned again.
Boy, did he take a belt.
This guy, Mario Ellie, is as tough as they come.
Mario was the guy who liked to be real vocal. He would let people know that he had been there before and he knew what it takes.
What he did was he helped our team honestly believe down in their gut, we feel as a group we can do it.
And boy, Joe Smith, that really got me. And you don't see David Robinson this angry very often.
In Minnesota, the guy smacked the ball out of Dave's hands. I got in his face. I said, Dave, you want the ball, you better start dunking.
Robinson eludes Garrett up top, goes to the summit, and packs his own missed shot with a left hand.
In the next 4 plays, he got 4 dunks, and he just went on a tear after that.
Top to Duncan, look at the feed to Robinson, whirls to the glass. Now the Spurs are starting to execute.
The big guys are just dominating the game. David, Duncan, they are devouring this team.
You could see the team's confidence build, where we thought we could compete with anybody at that point.
The Spurs would go on to dominate the Timberwolves in Minnesota.
There's Tim Duncan for the rebuke.
Underscoring their new resolve, they emphatically ended the series in 4 games.
They've got their getting back, they got their confidence. They truly believe now.
The San Antonio Spurs have won the first round series 3 games to 1.
In the Western Conference semifinals, the Los Angeles Lakers brought some of the NBA's best individual talent into town. The Lakers had won 7 of their last 8 against the Spurs, powered by Shaquille O'Neal.
We had not had very much success against him. He's the guy that frankly just kicked our butt. They knew that to play against him, especially at the defensive end of the floor, that they were going to have to really cooperate with one another.
From the first quarter of Game 1, the Spurs ganged up on the Lakers' one-man gang.
Shaq hasn't scored. He's getting a workout physically.
With Shaq wearing down, the Lakers went down with him. But the Spurs were just getting warmed up, unleashing the kind of total team effort that was becoming a hallmark of their success.
I know what to expect. I know I can count on Avery to bring his game. I know I can count on Sean to bring his game. Mario's going to come in and give us good defense, and the guys coming off the bench, Malik and Jerome, are going to give us great energy.
Jerome Kersey with
think it's just the trust factor is just so high on this team, and we just believe in each other.
The Spurs team concept secured a victory in Game 1. But when Game 2 was on the line, the team put its trust in one man. Down by 1 with seconds left, they gave Tim Duncan the ball.
I was on the bench and I told Tim, hey, I said, I'm coming to you, big fella. He said, okay, I'll be ready. I'm gonna make this one.
The Spurs try to score a basket to win it. Looks down low, there's Tim, 11 seconds left. Backing in, turns, jump hook, good! Tim Duncan popped the winning basket.
It's a great feeling for the team and the coach to have such confidence in you to give you the ball in those situations. Getting that one out of the way, our confidence just took off.
For Game 3, the Spurs borrowed the best of Games 1 and 2, looking again to Duncan to put the Lakers down.
Here's Avery Johnson running the break to Duncan. Look at that play.
And finishing them off with the bench. This time, it was Jaren Jackson who delivered the decisive blow.
Jackson takes the outside jumper. Good!
The top player, David and Tim, can believe in the guy that's sitting on the bench, deep down in the bench. If he comes to the game and he can produce. And that's what a team play is all about.
Out to Jackson, a three, bang!
Jaren Jackson in the clutch.
That will take the air out of a team real quickly.
After 22 points in Game 3, Jackson added 20 more in Game 4.
Jaren Jackson raised his arms high as that ball went through the net.
I was just so happy to be in that spotlight at that time and on that particular floor to be able to shine like that. It was just so fulfilling.
The Spurs' shocking 4-game sweep literally brought the house down in L.A. Game 4 would be the last ever played at the Great Western Forum.
Jackson puts the Lakers away.
And the San Antonio Spurs have swept aside the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals. And they did it convincingly.
Forearm is shut down. I feel great because the forearm is shut down for the last time.
Fresh from eliminating the powerful Utah Jazz, the Portland Trailblazers were on a roll. They were also the last obstacle standing between San Antonio and the finals.
I think we're a younger ball club, so we don't know what to expect. We just, over there they got Mario Ellie. It's 1-2 tires. You got David Robinson who's been there, Avery who played in it, Sean Elliott, all of them guys have been in it, so their faces like this.
This is us. Man, we lose, look.
The Blazers may have been loose, but the Spurs were ready, and it showed.
Elliott baseline left underneath, reverse layup is in.
Avery Johnson finds a path and then lays it off for Robinson.
I see some early determination on the part of the Spurs.
Though Rasheed Wallace would finally wake the Blazers in the second half, they would still come up short.
11 seconds, Anthony went away from the pick, comes back to Wallace, long outside jumper, rimming no, and the rebound to Ellie, the ball went over the backboard, out of bounds to San Antonio.
Game 1 belonged to San Antonio, but the Blazers seemed unfazed.
We just knew that we made some mistakes and we didn't execute well. We're sorry we lost, but we know we can play with this team. We know we can beat this team.
In Game 2, Portland came out with vengeance on their minds.
Leaves it for Sabonis out front, into Grant, low right, fakes underneath, lays it up with the left hand, it's in.
It's a much more aggressive Portland team.
Avery Johnson hooks the pass into Robinson, low right, back to Avery, down the lane. Now to Kersey off the dive. He's smothered by Walt Williams, and a steal. Stoudemire comes to the ball off to the right. He's guarded by Avery Johnson. Angles left of the dribble, takes it baseline left to the hoop and lays it in. 27-14, biggest lead for Portland.
Frustration setting in a little bit right now for the Spurs.
On the turnover, back come the Trailblazers. Stoudemire again. Does he feel it or what? And San Antonio has to call a timeout, trailing by 18, their biggest deficit.
It was a funny air about the whole game. It was like we were down 18, but we never felt like we were out. As we knew if we could just string together some stops and start getting our execution on offense under control, we would be all right.
The guy who really is going to have to start playing right now for San Antonio is Sean Elliott. On the perimeter, he can score. They have got to get something from him.
Speak of the devil. There it is.
Duncan fires to A.J. Down the middle, A.J. to Mario Ellis. In transition, Ellie lays it in.
Over the top of Slavina's the bonus. They're going to have to take a timeout. Portland does.
You know, this team is so resilient down the stretch, and we just never give up. You know, we feel when the game is close, the last 3 minutes of the game, we feel we're going to win every game.
Outside Dave, three-pointer, Sean Elliott baseline, bang! A 17-2 run by the Spurs and a 20-second timeout by the Blazers.
But like Portland in Game 1, the Spurs seem to have begun their comeback just a little too late.
12 seconds left in regulation, and the Trailblazers still hanging on by 2.
If you're a Trailblazer or a Trailblazer fan, you've got to feel good about this. This is where you wanted to be. And now San Antonio is trying to survive with 12 seconds to go.
Duncan, Elliott, Robinson, and Kerr on the floor. Ellie will throw it in. Into Sean Elliott. He fires the three.
Oh, no! San Antonio takes the lead. The 6th three-pointer today for Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott! The San Antonio Spurs have taken the lead for the first time in the game. Remember, they were down 18 points earlier in the third quarter.
San Antonio's only lead is the final score.
The San Antonio Spurs have taken a 2-0 lead with a remarkable come-from-behind win.
When he hit the shot, I just remember thinking, you know, we're destined to win it this year, you know, because shots like that just don't happen, you know, to any team or to everybody.
Look at his feet here. It looks like he's falling out of bounds. And he gathers himself. His heels actually are out of bounds, but they don't touch the line because they're off the ground.
I'm pretty sure that they thought they had this game in the bag. So for us to be able to come back and win, it's got to break their back a little bit.
Portland's early confidence had evaporated, and so had their chances. Playing with quiet resolve, the Spurs would wrap up another resounding sweep.
A superb performance by this San Antonio team.
The Spurs are just the better team. And right now, the Spurs are the league's best team.
Having won an incredible 10 of 11 playoff games, they ensured that no one would underestimate them again.
The San Antonio Spurs closing in on franchise history. I think they can taste it now.
Feels good, but, you know, still more out. I'm excited, but we got to reach it. We got to reach our goal.
This is the hardest fall coming up.
Right.
11 down, 4 to go for David Robinson and the Spurs.
For the first time ever, the Spurs are going to the NBA Finals.
I got a team with me that is I'm just very proud of. I think we have grown up a lot, and I think we're even going to get better as the finals go on. But you know, we feel very good about what we've been able to accomplish, and we got our sights set on the next goal.
While the Spurs started and finished the playoffs on top in the West, back east, the basketball world had turned upside down.
Houston ducks under, got it! And the New York Knicks have become the second number 8 team in NBA history to knock off a number 1.
Even without their injured star center Patrick Ewing, the Knicks stunned the heavily favored Indiana Pacers in the conference finals.
Inside of 10 seconds to go. Antonio is there. Johnson fires, fouled, hit it! Oh, he hit it! He hit it! It's unbelievable!
And dreams do come true. And the New York Knicks are going to San Antonio to the NBA Finals.
Good evening, everyone. From the Alamo Dome, the San Antonio Spurs, the New York Knicks in Game 1. The San Antonio Spurs, they were expected to be here.
Open doors!
But then the improbable New York Knickerbocker.
An 8th seed advancing all the way to the NBA Finals. That's never been done.
No. Which is the team of destiny?
The Spurs are the first former NBA team to ever make it this far.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And the ceremonial first ball will be with a red, white, and blue ball. And the tremendous hand for George Gervin.
Go after it right now. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the NBA Finals.
It was a battle of the Knicks' speed against the Spurs' size.
Bounce pass to Duncan. Jump shot is up and in. And San Antonio buries its first shot.
And in the first quarter of Game 1, the Spurs had the look of a Goliath against the Knicks' swarming David.
Here's Sprewell, looks for open floor. Sprewell fakes the outside shot. Left baseline, high arc, good. And the Knicks on fire here.
Looking for Duncan. Johnson's pass knocked away. Houston comes out of the pack with the steal. They run the break, and Ward finishes it.
New York go on a dynamic run, leading it 27-21.
But San Antonio didn't panic.
Okay, first play, we're going to go wedge down to Tim. See what they do. Wedge down.
The Spurs would look to their strength and pound where the Knicks were weak.
Duncan wants to go on Larry Johnson again. Backs him down for the right block. Jump shot, fadeaway, good.
Larry Johnson has no chance against Tim Duncan.
Out to Duncan, one dribble, right hand, finger roll is good.
I am New York right now. I get that ball out of Duncan's hands. You can't let him beat you right now.
Deep in low, easy for Tim Duncan. And it's a standing ovation for the Spurs who lead by 12. An 18-point half. And the Spurs open up their biggest lead of the game.
At halftime, New York adjusted. They might be undersized, but they wouldn't be undermanned.
We got to run both ways. Run both ways. Make a push right here. Come out with more intensity. Go. 1, 2, 3.
The Knicks have been very aggressive on defense.
New York would swarm Duncan on every possession.
They go low to Duncan. Tim Duncan goes flying. He got hit and knocked down. The Knicks have done a great job on the Spurs down low, being very aggressive on the block.
Crowding the low post with multiple defenders, the Knicks now triggered their fast break attack and clawed their way back into the game.
Picked up by Houston, lobbed into the front court to Sprewell, strong to the basket, right-hand scoop is good. Knicks refusing to go away here.
Let's just get in the strong corner, and if we don't have it right away, swing it, and let's get the chase. Do it one time. Okay, just swing it and get that chase down there. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever that guy is.
The Spurs would respond with poise. There was open space on the perimeter.
Elliott hits the three.
And they had the shooters to fill it.
Jackson forces one for the right corner, good! Under great duress in the corner.
Now you're turning loose the shooters.
Jackson, three is good. He's made one from the right and now from the left.
Jackson takes a wild off-balance three, and that's the kind of season and playoff run it's been for San Antonio.
Jaren Jackson has been dynamite from three-point land.
Boy, just about the time it looks like New York's going to be knocked out of it, they fight back.
Sprewell holding, one dribble, pull-up, jump shot, off the front rim, and jammed down by Camby.
The Knicks would gamely try to counter, but the Spurs were unrelenting, and Duncan finished the game with a flourish.
And the story, Tim Duncan, 33 points, 16 rebounds.
The killer. The Knicks are just a little bit short on everything. The San Antonio Spurs have defeated the New York Knicks 89-77.
Great game. That's number one. That's a big one. That's one that they've gotten everywhere they've gone, number one. They're in the finals. We know why they're in the finals. They're a hell of a good team. They're aggressive. They're tough. They get after it. But we're going to play for more of those 48 minutes than they are, and that's why you're here right now. Let's keep it up.
Grind it out every game, baby.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Alamo Dome, where the favorite Spurs will attempt to make it 2 in a row over the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals.
For Game 2, the Knicks decided that the best way to go after a giant is right at its heart.
Move the ball, move their size, attack. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
New York would challenge the Spurs' big men inside. But San Antonio's defense had been answering challenges all year.
Ward slithers through, and Duncan says, get that mess out of here.
Well, what are the Knicks trying to do? They're trying to get to the basket, and the Spurs won't cooperate. They're contesting every shot.
Shot clock violation, San Antonio basketball.
You know what I'm saying? I was backing up to let you through.
I should have went through him.
Well, no, I'm going to let you know a little earlier that the pick is coming.
The Spurs' cohesive team defense left the Knicks nowhere to drive and no room to pass.
Back to Childs, cut off in the paint, stolen by Malik Rose.
But the Spurs' offense was having its own troubles with the stubborn defense of the Knicks.
Obviously, the Spurs are deeper, and with Duncan and Robinson much more talented down low. But the Knicks are playing their hearts out here.
But as much heart as the Knicks showed, the Spurs were determined to break it.
Elliott, cross court, left to Mario Ellie. Looking for Duncan down low. Can't get him, now lobs the ball. Tim makes the catch, feeds Robinson for a layup that is good, and he's fouled.
Sideline right into the hands of Sprewell. Guarded by Elliott. Drives baseline, spins inside. Fade away. Teardrop is good.
The Knicks' playoff plan was simple. Keep it close and hope for a big play at the end to win it. But up by 3 in the closing seconds of the third period, the Spurs had no intention of cooperating.
Kerr starts the dribble. 7 to shoot.
Left wing, left corner to Elliott. Drives baseline underneath. It's up and good. And he's fouled with 2.5 to go on the clock.
And man, does that hurt if you're looking at this from New York's perspective, as it could be a three-point play.
This could double the lead here in the last 3 seconds of this quarter.
And once again, Tim Duncan delivered a crushing blow.
Get up, Tim.
Off the rim, no good. Duncan rebounds and puts it back.
This is even worse for New York. Duncan with the rebound. It's a 4-point trip down the floor.
The resilient Knicks tried to summon the strength for a fourth quarter run.
Read Chris Childs. He clears you. You're coming up. Re-screen. If Allen's got one-on-one, ball goes in, kick.
But once again, San Antonio's defense refused to yield.
Back inside Duncan. Duncan's cross-court pass. Blow the anvil. Ho, 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 ho. And the Spurs are tightening the noose again.
And as Duncan provided the capper, the Spurs grabbed the game and control of the series.
And the San Antonio Spurs have held serve and taken the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. 2 down, 2 to go.
In the minds of many of these fans, they're giving their champions-to-be a send-off. They don't think they're coming back here for a Game 6.
Come on, baby. Way to stay concentrated today.
Right, 5-0.
It was ugly. But we stayed in there, baby. Way to work. Way to work, baby.
I'm saying 5-0. What you said, 48-minute grind, right? That's what I'm saying.
When the finals moved to New York, the Spurs' playoff winning streak had reached an NBA record 12 games. And if they felt any butterflies about playing on Broadway's big stage, they didn't show it.
As soon as you get out the car, you be walking up the hall, and then they won't ask me, what you think about the game? Who? The camera people.
The camera people.
The camera people.
Camera people.
I'm in the New York state of mind.
We are at Madison Square Garden. We are ready for Game 3 between the Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, but are the Knicks ready?
If the Spurs feared anything, it was complacency, facing a team that didn't appear to have any way to stop them.
And the matchups. Who defends Duncan and Robinson?
But early on, the Spurs seemed to stop themselves.
They go back down through the Admiral. Campy the defender, back to the paint. Outside Duncan, roam around now. And Ellie loses the ball out of bounds. San Antonio turns it over to the Knicks.
And as the Spurs stumbled, the Knicks gained new life.
Turns, spins, drives, and hits. Allen Houston with the scoop shot.
Out to Johnson with 7 on the shot clock. Johnson in the paint. Double pump fadeaway.
Look what I found.
Back come the Knicks. Houston plays the ricochet. Moves down. Pulls for the 3. Yes! Allen Houston hits the 3, and it leads to another San Antonio timeout. The Knicks
open up a 9-point lead.
Big stop here. Watch back picks, no lobs. Get the stop and come back at it. Minute by minute, possession by possession.
The Spurs quickly regained their composure. The question was, would it be too late?
Rebound Duncan. He's got Ellie down the floor. Mario going in, slam dunk. Mario Ellie with the basket. Here comes Avery Johnson. He's to the front court, to the right sideline. Down low it goes to Duncan. Back to Johnson on the run. Give and go. Johnson hits on the drive.
Another one of those scoring droughts by New York as San Antonio has upped the level of their defense. New York has not been able to score.
Jaren Jackson chased by Houston, so Duncan's got it on the block. Turn jump hook. Good. We're tied.
Watch out for the spin out lob, all right? All right. Hey, you know what? We can remind you about 50 things. You guys dig in and get a stop, a board, 5 out, get a score. Come on, rebound.
The Spurs had run the Knicks down like a tired sprinter. But surprisingly, the Knicks had another run left.
Slips in the paint, picks the dribble up, got to send it back. Sprewell cuts down the lane, back over to Johnson, right baseline. Oh, a bad miss. Oh, an ugly air ball. And a diving, hustling move. Houston battles it in a three. Houston bails them out. So the first field goal for the Knicks in 6 minutes, and it is a huge one.
Stunned by the Knicks' resilience, the Spurs seemed to falter, and it was New York who surged to victory.
San Antonio.
Dropped low, Houston rises up to the baseline. Camby over the top. Marcus Camby delivers as he skies over everybody and slams it down. The Candy Man can do. And the Knicks at the feet of the Spurs, 89-81.
Every other team, the Spurs have slapped on their home floor in Game 3. Not the Knicks, not tonight. There will be no sweep. In fact, there may very well be a series now.
No sweep! No sweep, baby! No sweep! Push!
After their first defeat in weeks, the Spurs went back to basics.
The loss. We got so refocused after the loss.
Let's go! Come on,
Knowing that there are going to be a lot of things against us. We just had to focus on what we were doing.
Power flare.
We didn't want to be in a situation where we're at their house and the series all tied up.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Madison Square Garden, the Spurs and the Knicks, Game 4, ties it up tonight.
And even in the story where David defeated Goliath, it was an order. Goliath got to say his little piece. The Knicks had a chance to say their piece, and now it's our turn to go on out there and finish it up.
In case you didn't notice, we have a series after all. The Knicks were dead and buried, according to most, but guess who stood up in Game 3? Now there is the seed of doubt.
As the game began, neither team left any doubt about their determination.
Ellie off the dribble, flashes paint, layup, good!
Oh, the Spurs much more aggressive and intense than they were in Game 3.
Here's Ward, back to the basket, left side. Avery's the defender, screen, Larry, behind him, fires. Yes, the three! Charlie Ward! Back up the Spurs. Ellie open to the left, Johnson driving. He has the ball lost. Charlie Ward steals. Ward steals it. Picked him clean. And Ward glides in, dishes. Camby! Oh, Charlie Ward! What's up with Charlie Ward?
The Spurs took a slim lead into the half, but the Knicks were staying too close for comfort.
Both teams executing their offenses extremely well. The Spurs, they played a great game, and the Knicks are still within striking distance.
When we get a rebound, we're running. We're running a break, right? So we got to run the break every time.
In the second half, San Antonio tried to open up some breathing room.
Sprewell looks Johnson. Johnson bobbles. Johnson loose ball. Turn it over. And it's going to be picked up by Sean Elliott. So the Knicks turn it over, and here come the Spurs. Johnson on across the midcourt line to Ellie. Down low to Duncan. Puts it up off the glass and in. And now the Spurs making the Knicks pay. San Antonio looking to put the whip down. Cross court it goes Ellie. In the corner, Sean. He'll shoot a three. From the corner. Here's Elliott. Yes! It's Sprewell. Pounds it down on the floor. Kick it out of Camby. Missed on the drive. Out of control. Robinson ball. Here comes Johnson. Spurs break back 3-on-2. Johnson driving. Feeds Mario Ellie. He goes in reverse layup. Good. And he's fouled. And it's huge for San Antonio. Biggest lead of the game for San Antonio. The Spurs are very confident now that they will slam the door.
The Spurs were dominating the game, but the Knicks were disturbingly comfortable with their backs against the wall.
Listen, right here, you guys put a squeeze on it. You get a stop and a score. Stop, score.
Here's Avery Johnson between the rings to Ellie. His pass stolen by Sprewell. Stolen. Sprewell. He's got it. And he goes. Slam dunk. Tomahawk. Pressure now. Bad pass. Turn it over.
The Knicks picking up some drive here as the ball is thrown away. An inexplicable turnover.
Back to Charlie Ward. They're going to go low block, turn around. Houston, yes! The Madison Square Garden crowd rocking.
Houston, Camby.
Pick and roll. Camby over Duncan. Oh, baby! It's a two-point game.
This New York team will just not die. They will not go away.
And for the first time this series, as I look across the floor at the Spurs, there's concern on those faces. Anybody's game yet, Brent? We're about to find out what the Spurs are made of.
Big time defense now, let's go. If you get up into him, he's going to put it down. And if he beats you, it's okay because we got help coming.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Got help.
Let him go C5-0.
Exactly.
That's why you're in it.
Let me say one thing. We got these boys. Now let's kill them right now.
Yeah.
Killer instinct, man.
The Spurs turned back to their deadliest weapon, a suffocating defense.
Great defense. There was nothing the Knicks could do.
Big possession for the Knicks. Here's Charlie Ward on the run.
Ward glides, fires it to Mario Ellie, who steals the ball.
And Jeff Van Gundy says, oh, no.
The Spurs were resolved that there would be no more late-game heroics for the Knicks.
Johnson back, comes up, knocked away from him. Duncan and Robinson all over him, ate him up. San Antonio all over the place. Blocked. Kirk Thomas rejected by David Robinson.
The Spurs almost defy you to score down the stretch.
In the game's final minutes, the Knicks were held virtually scoreless, and the Spurs walked off with a 3-1 series lead.
They have played an inspired, tough basketball game.
So the Spurs put a stranglehold on the '99 NBA Finals.
You need to be praised for the stops you made down the stretch in this game. You just pounded on that rock all night long, and you pounded about 3 or 4 minutes longer than they pounded, and you're the damn winner. Let's go get another one.
Yes,
Bringing the trophy out now.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Hold on. We ain't have all that old laughing and joking before the game today. In practice yesterday and shoot around today, it was quiet. We ain't did nothing yet. So let's come with the same intensity.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Defense.
What I'm talking about.
This could be it. The San Antonio Spurs are on the verge of winning their first ever NBA championship. What an accomplishment that would be for the great veteran David Robinson.
It's been a great journey, you know, overcoming all the challenges and all the criticism and all the other things, and you work through all this stuff, and then now you finally climb the hill.
And who knows, for Tim Duncan, this could be the start of many championships.
That little saying that Pop has up in our locker room about the stone cutter banging away on the stone, and after the 101st blow that the stone breaks, and but he knew that it wasn't that blow that did it, but all that had come before.
This is the game San Antonio has been looking forward to for 23 years.
I think that's going to be what I look back and remember about the team, because we came from that 6 and 8 position, and then we just kind of kept chiseling away at the stone, and just we're here now, and we're ready to make that last blow.
The San Antonio Spurs are heading home after tonight's game. The question is, do the New York Knicks go with them?
You know what, man? Let's go out there and just dominate and then get to San Antonio, all right?
Just leave it on the floor. Leave it on the floor. Ain't no way they're gonna stop this show. Ain't no way. No.
That we would continue to grow and continue to trust one another, and that's why we can expect to go get this game tonight.
From the start, the Knicks team showed no willingness to surrender on their home turf, as Allen Houston carried them early.
Knicks on the run, just past to Houston on the front court. Head fakes Kirk, drives, takes all the way, and hits.
Up the floor to Houston, the attack court comes baseline, pull up 6-footer, yes!
The Knicks open up an 8-point lead.
Playing their best ball of the series. Now look,
On the double team on Houston, we got to make sure we want to go early rather than late. We'll live with everybody else shooting, but not him.
The Spurs contained Houston and corralled everyone else.
Goes baseline against Duncan, rejected by Tim Duncan, and back come the Spurs.
San Antonio would launch a total team onslaught.
Here's Duncan spinning, turning, going up for the shot, banks it in.
And by the third quarter, they had built a 9-point lead.
Jared Jackson, deep three, yes! He is shaking up the New York Knickerbockers.
And the whole tenor of this game has changed as the Spurs have now scored 13 unanswered points.
Oh, Jeff Van Gundy is beside himself.
But we got to get a spurt. And to do that, you got to be up and into them, and you got to get on the board. So let's go.
The Knicks' surge came from nowhere.
Stolen, Sprewell, great steal.
Sprewell is like lightning.
Slam it down with a tomahawk.
Suddenly, Latrell Sprewell caught fire.
Latrell Sprewell again.
But Tim Duncan would join him, and a fourth-quarter duel lit up the New York skyline.
Puts it down, comes baseline, spin over the top, good! Outside Sprewell, coming down the lane, glides to the glass, the layup. Oh, Latrell Sprewell! And the garden is exploding right now. Now it's Duncan's turn.
Back Studley down, double team Sprewell. Tim Duncan's jump shot spinning in. Tim Duncan scores again.
Here's Sprewell, yes! Whoa. Sprewell rammed it home over Jackson. He's making like Michael Jordan tonight.
One after the other, Sprewell, and then Duncan answers.
There are 10 players on the floor, but for the last several minutes, it's been Sprewell and Duncan.
He's making them from everywhere.
Sprewell gets a pick, fires from deep. Yes, a three from Latrell Sprewell, who is having the game of his life.
As the battle raged into the game's final minutes, Duncan had a secret weapon. He knew he could call on his teammates for reinforcement.
Now, who else besides Duncan will stand up for the Spurs? A championship awaits.
75-72 New York.
A critical offensive sequence.
Down low to Tim Duncan. Duncan guarded by Larry Johnson. Double from Allen Houston. Mario Elie for three. Bang!
A huge three by Mario Elie ties the score.
The Knicks regained the lead by a point, but the Spurs team defense would again stop them cold.
And what a time for a 24-second violation.
Spurs have another crack at it.
Since 1973, the franchise had been waiting for just one shot. The moment had finally come.
And the Knicks up by one, 77-76.
Minute to go, elimination game. Can New York hold them off?
Here comes Avery Johnson. A title's at stake. Spurs are closing in. You want Duncan. Got it on the entry pass. Double team. Elliott on top. Elliott bluffs, drives, kicks. Avery Johnson for the lead. Yes!
Avery Johnson drills it from the baseline, and the Spurs have regained the lead.
The little guy sticks that dagger right toward your heart on every occasion.
Avery Johnson had taken his shot at history and made it. Now the Spurs needed one last stop before they could call themselves champions.
2.1 seconds remain to be played. The San Antonio Spurs lead the Knicks 78-77.
The Knicks will have the ball out of bounds at midcourt. Ward will inbound. Ward looking, gets it ahead. For Sprewell! Got Sprewell underneath the glass. Double team, fires at the buzzer, no! The San Antonio Spurs win their first ever NBA championship.
And the pride of the great Lone Star State are NBA champions. They are the first ABA team to win an NBA crown, and they have done it.
The San Antonio Spurs, one of the nicest collection of athletes you'll ever be around.
You know you're out there for the same purpose, the same goal. And everybody's such a great guy on the team that you do just about anything for him.
The real satisfaction I get out of this is watching David and Sean and Avery smile and enjoy after having been together so many years, and things finally work out for them.
Man, I can't even describe it. For so long, this is what you dream about. You know, now I can't even talk about it. I mean, it's incredible. I'm blessed, just blessed.
Congratulations, 1999 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs.
When Sean and I, we first got in the league, and we were at practice one day, and we just sat there and looked at each other, and we just were laughing and thinking, man, they pay us for this? This is unbelievable. You know, this is great. But I feel like that's kind of it's one of those situations where Avery and Sean and I can kind of sit there and look at each other, and we have that bond, you know, we're just looking at each other and saying, man, this is awesome.
It's all about the team. The team needed me to hit that shot, and they was dependent on me.
I keep following around the best player in the game. I have a feeling that has something to do with all these championships.
Man, am I lucky or what? What the hell am I doing here?
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Yeah, baby.
Wow. This is for the folks back home in San Antonio. 26 years I'm waiting. I'm holding it for you, but bringing it back to you.
I think it's going to be a lot more fun to look back on and see what I did. Right now, I can't even do it justice. When I look back at it, it's going to be outstanding. It's something that I won't even believe. It's still a dream right now. Wake up in the morning and I don't know it's real.
The game ball.
Speak the word.
I had to box like 10 guys out for the game ball, but I got it though.
We world champs. Tell them.
Hey, Jay.
That's right.
Oh, man.
I waited 10 years for this championship, and that was a long time. But this city has waited 26 years, and y'all deserve it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your championship, San Antonio. You're number one.
This is unbelievable. My heart is beating 1,000 times a minute. And we just want to thank each and every one of you. You, each and every one of you, everybody. We love y'all.
You guys gave us the energy to keep playing. You gave Sean Elliott the energy to make that shot. And when he made that shot, that made it possible for Avery Johnson to hit another shot.